Welcome to Dueling Planeswalkers, the series where we battle through the entire history of Magic the Gathering duel decks.
Which is a lot. And today we're going to probably do, I think is one of my favorite ever created. And it's the first one, ironically, and that's Elves versus Goblins.
So Elves vs. Goblins was released in 2007, and it featured cards from the previous 6 years of Magic at that time, so Apocalypse to Lorwyn. Elves vs. Goblins established a lot of the patterns that later duel decks and today's Challenger decks would follow. That includes foil featured cards. The two featured cards for these first decks are Ambush Commander for the Elves and Siege Gang Commander for Goblins.
And the set symbol, and I don't know if you know this, but it's actually a combination of a Elvish bow and a Goblin axe. And I'll show you here the bow and the axe. And to be honest, I actually, when I first saw this, I didn't think it was really a bow.
Yeah. The axe is pretty obvious. The bow is a little wacky, and actually the first time I saw it, I was completely absent the context of Elves versus Goblins, and I just thought it was like some sort of plow.
Oh yeah.
I figured it out. The axe is what got me there once I saw Elves versus Goblins. I was like, oh.
And if you hadn't realized this yet, this is not the original Duel Deck. This is the one from the Duel Deck Anthology, which has all the modern bordered cards in it. So, you know what time it is?
I think I do.
It's time to duel.
Let's do it.
All right.
So we're going to be playing a best of 3 match, just like you would at your local FNM. The only difference is that there's no sideboards in duel decks, so obviously we're not going to be doing that. But
I'll roll first.
Sounds great.
We got these gigantic blue dice, so this will be fun. I'm going to two-hand it.
Do it.
Oh, shoot. Oh, okay. I got to do that again. That was a fail. Oh, it's off camera, but it was a 6.
We did it.
We did it.
All right, so...
Oh, you did way better than I did.
Except for the actual numbers. So it looks like you've got the choice.
I will play first.
Really? In Elves versus Goblins?
Absolutely. Because I want to.
So I will be playing Goblins. Chris will be playing Elves. Any of you who know us are probably not even remotely surprised by that. Chris is particularly fond of his Elves, and I have taste. And so here we are.
Really? You really had to go there with that one?
Yeah, I mean, Goblins are going to fight dirty.
He's completely wrong with that. Yeah, he's got taste. Dirty play. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
We see where your head's at.
Goblins also know that if you want to insult an elf, you're going to have to go a little higher brow than usual.
Oh, this is true. This is true. And how does that work? You're taller than me, and you're playing the shorter race.
Yeah, I'm like 3 goblins in a trench coat. That's what's happening here.
That's great. I like that. Okay, I will offer the cut to you, sir. Oh,
sorry, it's force of habit.
He's going for the shuffle cut.
I went for the shuffle cut.
It's all good. We are competitive Magic players. That happens. So the idea
old habits, they die hard.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Oh my gosh!
Because I can count today.
Can't manipulate these are the really really old Ultra Pro sleeves.
Yeah, because they're super shiny.
I don't think either of us have touched these in like 3 years, and it's embarrassing how bad I am with these things. Like, just flubbing stuff all over the place.
So we're on the play, and I'm gonna say, and I think so. You up there can see my hand. We have all this, and I think it's better if I pitch this. So I think I'm gonna go to 6.
All right. So I'm looking at a kind of a mediocre 7, but I think it's perfectly reasonable, especially by the standards of duel decks. I've got some early plays leading into one of my payoff cards. The power level is a little lower than you might be accustomed to from other formats, but this is perfectly reasonable and could potentially do some running over, especially since I know that Chris is mulliganing here. So we shall see.
Well, that's a little awkward.
A little better awkward?
Not really, but if he doesn't have a fast start, we might be okay.
Goblins are usually pretty slow decks.
So I think with a scry, yeah. I mean, this is not great. I'll roll with it. This is 1 of 3.
You show folks your hand, or?
Yeah, I guess I can. They're gonna be scared. They're gonna be like, they're gonna tell me to pitch this, and I probably, in normal circumstances, as I can't even hold on to these sleeves because they're
right, like
they're terrible, and you guys probably can't see this very
for
well.
the record, Ultra Pro's new sleeves are just substantial.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it's an entire new world.
But they're terrible for camera, so that's the drawback for them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna resolve my scry. Okay.
That sounds like that made that better.
That seems okay. I'll keep that on top. I'm ready to go.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's turn 1. I'm going to play Wirewood Lodge and pass the turn.
Sounds good. So I'm going to turn 1 a Goblin Cohort and say go.
Ouch.
This is a 2/2. It can't attack unless I've cast a creature spell this turn. I'm fairly confident that I have creature spells in this Goblins deck. So
I'm going to play a Forest. Tap, not 2. I'm going to tap 1 to play a Elvish Eulogist. Eulogist, whatever.
Elvish Urologist.
Yeah, Urologist. It's a Urologist. It's a 1/1 sacrifice it to gain 1 life for each elf in the graveyard. Pass turn.
Cool beans. I'll untap, draw, play myself a mountain. I'll drop a Skirk Drill Sergeant, which means I can move to combat and swing in with my 2/2.
No blocks.
Alrighty.
So I go to 18.
Yes, sir. And then I will pass the turn to you.
All right. Draw. No whammies, but it was a whammy. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Well, this is slightly unfortunate. This is a really terrible start for an Elves deck. I will have to pass the turn. Yeah. This should have been, I probably should have thrown this back, to be honest. I was kind of hoping for a slow start for you.
I will drop a mountain. And because he missed a land drop, rather than trying to specifically like develop out some crazy board here, I'm just going to, rather than set up for a longer game, I'm going to try to just develop a hyper aggressive board. I'm going to play a Raging Goblin.
That's a card.
I'm going to move to combat.
It's very
send in the
ragey
clowns.
and hasty. The question here is, do I want to trade now, or do I take and wait? I think I'm going to trade here.
I think you should too. I mean, I get you could potentially gain more life down the road, but this is going to get in so many extra attacks.
Yeah, like it's the net of that is very much not great. So I'll declare blocks there.
Okay, I'll pass priority.
Okay, so go to damage.
So you'll take
and
3.
I take 3. I go to 15.
Yes, sir. And then second main, I'll play another Skirk Drill Sergeant. By the way, the Drill Sergeant is a 2/1 for 2. Whenever it or another goblin dies, I can pay 2 and a red. And if I do, I reveal the top card of my library. If it's a goblin, I put it on the battlefield. If not, put it in the graveyard. And
I can't believe it.
I'll go ahead and pass the turn to you.
I'm going to draw this. It better be a land. Give me land! Ah, man.
Land or a 2-drop?
No. Go. I think this is Clayton's. Clayton's for me.
So
yeah, shut the door back.
I'm gonna play a Forgotten Cave into a Mud Button Torch Runner. Go to combat. I'll swing for 5. Torch Runner, by the way, a 1/1 that when it dies, it deals 3 to a creature or player.
I go to 10.
All right, and I'm gonna say go.
Land. Come on, land. Yeah. I think this is going to be an unfortunate ending for the Elves. Go ahead.
All right, so I'll play a land for a turn. I will play a Click Slither. 3/3 haste. I can sacrifice a goblin.
Let's go to game 2.
Game 2. Are you on the play or the draw?
I will be on the draw this time.
Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3,
So I'll get first choice.
6 and 7.
I mean, this seems perfectly reasonable.
This is
It's not
interesting.
like the greatest hand in the history of hands. I don't think it's quite as strong as the last one, but this is perfectly playable, and I'm going to keep it.
I'm keeping this because I have this guy. So,
Ready to rock?
ready to roll.
All right, I'll play Mountain, tap that for a Mog Fanatic, and say go.
Sounds good. I will draw. And did not get rewarded, so pass the turn. Boop.
Draw for the turn. I'll play another Mountain, go to combat, swing in for 1,
All right, we'll go to 19.
and I will say go.
Where is that one? There it is.
We did it.
Old schooling with dice. Land for turn. And tap 2. I'll play Elvish Warrior. 2/3. Vanilla. Go ahead.
Seems decent.
It's a good blocker. Has a good.
Well, it seems pretty good against...
Has a decent butt. And for those out there who may not get the joke, but the butt means he's a 2/3, so he has some beef.
I'll play a
there.
Skirk Shaman. 2/2 can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and red creatures.
That could
And I'll say go.
potentially be a problem. Okay.
I sincerely hope so.
So we'll go ahead and play a land for turn.
Mm-hmm.
That means I'm hitting some good land drops. I'm going to tap 3, play Moonglove Extract. I will then sack, kill that,
Okay.
and swing in for 2.
I will drop to 18 because I am not blocking that.
Pass the turn. So land off the top actually turned out to be pretty good.
Alrighty. I'll pay 4 for a Goblin Ringleader. When it enters the battlefield, I reveal the top 4 cards in my library, put all goblins into my hand, and the rest in the bottom in any order. So we've got Skirk Fire Marshal, a mountain, and a tar pitcher. So both of these guys are coming to my hand. Mountains are going to the bottom.
That is.
Go to combat. Swing in for 3.
I go to 16.
And
'cause I
then
don't
I'll
have
say go.
numbers. All right. Untap. Draw.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Well, what to do? What to do? Well, next turn, same as the previous. Moonglove Extract.
There you go.
Sack. Destroy that. Pass turn. So I didn't attack there, and the reason being is because he's probably got some hasty creatures there coming, or at least be able to block his 1/1, sort of just hold him at bay for a little bit. May not work out for me, but given what's in my hand, it's probably the better play at the
Fair
moment.
enough. Drew for a turn. I'm tapping 4 for my tar pitcher.
Yep.
And then I'm going to pass the turn back because turns out even Mog Fanatics aren't super interested in dying for no value. They want to die for some value.
So I got my 4th land drop, so that's pretty good. And then I'll tap the 4 mana to play Lys Alana Huntmaster.
That seems decent.
3/3. Whenever I cast an elf spell, I may create a 1/1 elf warrior creature token. Put it on the battlefield. Go ahead.
Okay, so he's got all of his X3s in this game, which is a little bit of trouble for me, but see if we
For
can't
the
work
moment.
around that. All right, so I'm going to play a Mud Button Torch Runner.
Ouch.
I will tap Tar Pitcher and sacrifice the Torch Runner to do 2 to the Elvish Warrior. When the Torch Runner dies, it's going to do 3 to Lys Alana.
Okay.
Then I'm going to sacrifice the Mog Fanatic and do 1 right here.
Sounds good.
And then I'm going to pass the turn back to
All
you.
right. So that was effectively a board wipe.
It was a 2 for 2. Your 2 were just better than my 2.
I will tap 4 and bring Lys Alana Huntmaster back,
Oh, that's not ideal.
and I'll pass the turn. Time to bring on the engine. All the elves. All of them. Or he'll just kill it. We'll see. He's thinking.
He is. I'm going to play Boggart Shenanigans.
It's never good when he's thinking.
I'll play Skirk Prospector.
Those shenanigans.
I'll sacrifice this to do 2, trigger, ping you for 1.
Okay, I go to 15.
Tarfire to finish it off. Sigo.
Unreal. All right, so make my 5th land drop.
And hopefully his 6th through 9th are in his hand. So, but he's probably just got a fistful of elves, and I'm going to get elf balled. Yeah, the trouble with those Huntmasters is I just can't let them stay online, or he'll flood that board, and I am doomed the second he starts cycling those Gempalms.
Timberwolf.
Or playing a Timberwatch Elf.
Timberwatch Elf and a Gempalm Strider. And I'll pass the turn.
All right, well, I feel good about my choices based on what was in his hand.
But I still have 2 cards.
'Tis true.
The only card that I wish they would have put in this duel deck is Aziri. That would have been cool.
That's fair.
But you can't have everything you want, I guess.
I'll play an Aki Coalflinger. It's a 2/2 first strike for a red and tap. Attacking creatures gain first strike until end of turn.
Okay.
And I will Tarfire your Timberwatch Elf.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
I'll then pass. And the reason, by the way, that I'm using a lot of removal that I could play at instant speed on my turn, but it's because he's got a bunch of stuff that's representing, tons and tons of potential value. Like I can't Tarfire that if I let him untap with it when it's not summoning 6. So,
what to do? This is interesting. I think I'm just gonna have to start getting that engine going. I don't really have a choice at the moment. Take a break and play Slate of Ancestry.
fair enough.
Tap 4, discard a card. I get to draw a card for each creature I control, provided I
discard your hand.
or discard my hand. Yeah, sorry. And I will pass the turn.
All right, so we're going to kind of need to end this ASAP here. Well, yeah, that's going to help a bit. We will fire off a Click Slither, 3/3 haste, sack a goblin, it gets +2/+2, gains trample till end of turn.
Yeah, that will be
Go
interesting.
to combat and swing in here.
So potentially 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Destroy that for me. 9. So not dead on board. So and I chump. It doesn't matter because he gets trampled there. Yeah. So. I think the right play here is I don't block in hopes that my creature stays alive. So I'll no blocks.
Okay. I'll pass priority.
Okay, so go to damage.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Taking 5.
So I go to 10.
Let's see. And then following that, cost C4 to activate that. Yep. I'll just pass the turn to you.
Okay.
I could kill the creature, but honestly, right now a 2/2's not doing all that much. And it costs so much for him to activate Slate of Ancestry that even if he plays a creature and manages to then draw 2 cards for 1. Ambush Commander. What are you looking at? Force you control are 1/1 green elf creatures that are still lands. Interesting. Okay.
Not super relevant right now, but I will pass the turn.
All right. Well, on your end step, this is super duper dying.
Yeah.
This will trigger. I'll hit you for 1 with
I go
the
to
shenanigans.
I go to 9. You're at 18.
That is correct.
Okay.
Moving to mine.
Yep. And I'm dead.
Draw my card for turn. I'll go ahead and play a Goblin Matron. Trigger that. Search up a Goblin. I'm going to grab a Mog War Marshal.
And that'll be guidance.
Yeah, that's looking like.
Yeah, that's. I think I'm pretty much dead on board either way.
I
blocking.
believe that is true. But
we should play it out.
would you like to cut?
No cuts. I trust you.
I will play that Mog War Marshal. Trigger. Get myself a Gobbo. What, you're at 10, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I will go to combat.
Mm-hmm.
Swing in with the Click Slither.
No blocks.
Before damage, I'll sacrifice War Marshal to it.
Mm-hmm.
Ping you for 1.
Yep.
This will trigger.
Yep.
I'll sacrifice a Goblin and another Goblin. Ping you for 2 more.
Yep.
So that's now a 9/9, and then it crashes through for lethal.
Sounds good. Good game,
Good
sir.
games.
So to wrap it up, I lost. So you won the first one. But, you know, I should have probably mulliganed a little bit more aggressively the first game.
Yeah, I'm not sure what did you end up keeping? Obviously, I saw some of the things play out, but
I had 2 lies. And so I thought it was going to be okay. So I had 2 lies and 2 of the 2-drop 2/2s, the cyclers.
okay.
And then I had the 1/1 that sack, gain life for the elves that are in the graveyard. And I just actually hoped I was going to draw a dork. I mean, that's really what I needed, and I just didn't get there. And so I should have, although 5 is a little scary on a dual deck, meaning going down to 5 because there's a lot of high mana costing creatures. They kind of jam pack it that way.
But isn't the Lys Alana Huntmaster a 4-drop already?
Yeah, it is a 4-drop.
Yeah, see, that's like you're already sort of soft mold to 5 at that point, like because you've got a pair of 4-drops and only a pair of lands.
Yeah,
that makes it rough.
Yeah, so I should have. It was a tough choice. Like I should have mulled. But, to be quite honest, even if I went to 5, first game you got on board pretty quickly.
Yeah, my hand in game 1 was very good. It's one of those where I think I initially underestimated it when I was showing it to the camera because I'm accustomed to decks that are of a higher power level than dual decks.
Yeah.
Like dual decks are a blast, but they're not the most consistent win machines.
They're not tuned. They're not fully tuned.
Exactly. That was a really good hand, and I think I sold it short simply because this is my first real foray into this format. So, but it did some pretty terrifying work
yes,
in that game, and yeah.
Game 2, and again, typically I wouldn't scoop, but like the way that I saw it, I was already dead.
Yeah, you were dead on board.
So I was just like, in the interest of your time, and I hope you would appreciate that, is you normally wouldn't scoop, but it's just one of those that I did on the effort of time and thinking, well, next turn I'm dead anyways.
Actually, you were dead that turn.
Oh, that's right, because you were about to attack.
I hadn't done the math yet because I'd literally just drawn the relevant cards, but you were dead on board.
So game 2, I felt like it was okay, and I think if you didn't get your removal online as quickly as you did to sort of clear my board out.
Yeah, Tar Pitcher was just a beating, and then it was like Mud Button Torch Runner or Kettle Runner or whatever. The guy that does 3 when he died. That was very good.
That was sick.
And the funny thing is I was sitting there with the enchantment that pings you at the time, but I just couldn't really, as much as I would have loved to have done that first initial sort of basically board wipe while also getting some extra value, just couldn't let your token generators stay alive. Like they were just
that's fair. Yeah.
rip me apart if I let that happen. So I had to trade off all my resources and just sort of hope that you were out of payoffs. And you mostly were. You did draw you did have the Timberwatch Elf, and I was very fortunate that I had drawn a Tarfire on that turn. So
and then at that point I just started drawing lands, and then just like
and then it's
like at that point, what are you gonna do? And you know, the artifacts, I mean, whatever. I mean, that's really what I had in my hand, aside from the 5-drop featured card. I forget the name of the card now. Ambush Commander. And the problem is you had removal on board to get rid of it anyways. So,
but if I'd stalled out for a couple of turns and not had things to pitch to it, because Tar Pitcher does need pitch material.
True. True. It was more of I wanted to wait one turn.
But you really couldn't.
Yeah. So
that's fair.
But I mean, that it is what it is. So David is a 1-0 to start, and we have 20 more to do.
We will look this number up.
We will
not right
have
now.
We will have it next time. I promise.
We were totally super over prepared for this. But we hope you had fun. Like, we had a blast. We're really excited about this series. This is something we've been talking about doing for a while, and we'd love to hear any suggestions that you have or observations that you made about this first episode.
And this actually marks too our comeback to YouTube. I mean, we haven't.
It's been a minute. Been a while.
And so I hope you had fun. As David said, I certainly did, and I know you did. We all had fun. But that was bad. That's okay. Go ahead. Just tell me.
We'll edit it out in post.
No.
I'm gonna edit it out in post.
So until next time, I'm Chris.
And I'm David.
And we were dueling Planeswalkers today.